Tomazzi entertain. What? Please! No! Ah! Ah!
No, no, no! Don't be afraid!
Hello everybody, this is D-Laps, and I'm here to review Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warrior. After the dark and evil, weird kind of character Freddy was in Part 2, they decided to change him up a little bit and make him a tad more likable. Now don't get me wrong, Nightmare 3 is still scary, but they decided to add more of a comedy element to it. Which is a little bit surprising since Wes Craven wrote the story and the screenplay for this movie. But it worked out in the end because the fans really liked the new horror comedy blend.
Because for the very first time in history, a small independent film has swept the weekend box office grosses.
And the top money-making film this past weekend is Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, with 8.8.
#1 movie in the country last week. In Syracuse, they called in the mounted police to control the crowds at theaters.
That's right, folks. The Nightmare on Elm Street series became more popular than the Friday the 13th series. And the main reason for that is because Freddy actually talks and Jason doesn't.
Nightmare 3 scared up $25 million in its first 2 weeks in release. A total of over $40 million. It scored the biggest opening for any independent film ever.
So as far as Wes Craven was concerned, this was supposed to be the final Nightmare. So he decided to bring back the original character that defeated him, Nancy. Which kind of makes sense because it's like a full circle, it's like the end of a trilogy. Now since the original Nightmare, Nancy's become a sleep expert. And when she realizes what's really going on and it's actually Freddy doing all the killing, she tries to convince the doctors that they should subscribe Hypnosil. Hypnosil is the first time this is ever mentioned in the series, and basically it's supposed to be a dream depressant. Hypnosil is referenced in Freddy's Dead and Freddy vs. Jason. Now, when it comes to all the acting and the characters, they all do a good job, except for Patricia Arquette. She's the star of the movie, and honestly, I hate her acting. It's so stale, it's boring, it's cheesy. And it's kind of a huge letdown when you have the main actor, which kind of sucks. But the side actors, they do a good job as well. Especially two characters I kind of want to shout out as Roland and Will Stanton. Those guys are great actors, and they're really entertaining to watch because they're actually unique, unlike the other characters which are kind of just bland. You know, one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, and Lawrence Fishburne is awesome in that movie. And Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie as well. He's like a janitor, but he's actually called Larry Fishburne in the credits. Now, during the film, you do find out a lot about Freddy's backstory, and also more about his mother. When these scenes play out in the film, I find them completely fascinating. I love hearing about Freddy's backstory. I wish there was a little bit more of that in the film. But still, it's creepy, it's eerie, I love it. I also feel that this is the Nightmare that they really perfected the music. They got that nursery rhyme tone that's just freaky. And I feel this music was the template for future sequels to use. Another wise decision was to put heavy rock music in the soundtrack as well. Also, to help make the film even more popular, Freddy starred in other things.
Only 30 more shopping days till Christmas!
I regret that I only have one life to give for my country. Nancy's!
George, get your hands off me. Oh.
Help me! Somebody! Somebody! Ring around the rosy. Daddy!
The bushes!
Are you from the New York Times?
Check the obituary section!
Oh, Mr. Kruger, he's the president!
You didn't get my vote.
Please don't, Freddie. If you kill him, Dan Quayle will become president.
Not Dan Quayle. I think I'll stick to teenagers.
Another huge upgrade from the previous film is the fact that the death scenes are much more elaborate. Pretty much each of the teenagers have a special power or ability. But it all feels like a trick because it feels like Freddy uses these things as an advantage to end up killing all these kids. So I don't know if it's a trick or they actually have powers, but it is a lot more entertaining to watch. Uh-oh, I hit the 5-minute mark. I gotta take a piss.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
In Nightmare 3, you can really tell that the budget is a lot bigger because it does a lot more special effects. They put a lot of details in the environments and you only see them for seconds. Another thing that bothered me about this is that 2 of the deaths are kind of cheap and quick. So to summarize everything, I guess like the lead actress kind of sucks and there's a little bit of corny dialogue, but the side actors make up for everything. Also, the ending to this movie is fucking spectacular. With this skeleton fight and the holy water, it's really good. Like, you gotta check the fucking movie out just for that ending, because it is a really powerful ending to a movie. So I give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoy this movie. I watch it maybe every couple of years.
Hey, touch that rewind button and your dog meat. Stay put.
You don't want to go just yet. Look at all these cool details I'm going to show you about the movie. You have to do a little bit of reading. Hope that doesn't bother you too much. One last thing I guess I want to mention about this movie is the rock soundtrack. I know I mentioned it earlier, but there's this one song that plays, the Dream Warrior song. It's a wicked song, man. Check that out. Like, you can even check it on YouTube. Just put Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street, and you'll find it. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching my video. If you like this, please give a thumbs up, a comment below, subscribe if you're new. I tried to make these as interesting as possible, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.